Let's get right into it. Number 10. The rage that keeps you alive. You know that flash of anger when someone cuts you off in traffic, and suddenly you're auditioning for Fast and Furious, passive-aggressive edition? Yeah, that isn't just modern road rage. That's ancient rage. Back when your ancestors were half naked and holding pointy sticks, anger wasn't just a mood. It was survival software. It made your heart race, your muscles tense, and your body dump adrenaline like it was on clearance. You didn't get mad for fun, you got mad to win. To protect your territory, your food, or your family from that smug rival caveman who thought your fire looked a little too communal. Biologically, anger is your body's built-in turbo mode. Your amygdala, the brain's uh-oh alarm, hits the fight switch, and your frontal lobe, the part that handles logic and taxes, takes a smoke break. In prehistoric times, that was perfect. You didn't have time to analyze, you just had to react. Now, it's why you end up arguing with strangers online about pineapple on pizza. Anger actually had a purpose. It helped humans assert dominance, protect social order, and even motivate cooperation within tribes. Anthropologists believe that showing controlled aggression earned you respect, like emotional camouflage for survival. So when you slam the fridge door because someone finished your leftovers, you're not being petty. You're maintaining the ancient hunter-gatherer hierarchy. Congratulations, Alpha of the kitchen. Fast forward to now, and that same system keeps misfiring. There's no saber-toothed tiger, just slow Wi-Fi, bad drivers, and your coworker who forgets to reply all. The same adrenaline rush that once helped you throw a spear now fuels your passive-aggressive masterpiece of an email. Per my last message. But here's the thing. That anger still serves you if you learn to channel it. Instead of blowing up at the nearest victim, use it as a biological signal. It's your body saying, something's wrong, fix it. Ancient fury, repurposed for modern progress. So next time you feel yourself about to explode over something stupid, just remember, your ancestors would be proud. You're carrying 200,000 years of finely tuned rage and directing it at customer support. If this weird mix of science and sarcasm makes your brain happy, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm you're evolving correctly. And if you want more bizarre breakdowns of human behavior that make you question your entire species, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Number 9. The fear that wasn't supposed to expire. You walk into a dark room and immediately feel something behind you. You know it's probably your laundry pile, but your heart is already writing its will. Congratulations, you just experienced ancient survival software running on modern hardware. Fear was the original life insurance. The amygdala, again, the drama queen of your brain, doesn't care whether it's a lion, a shadow, or your own reflection at 3 a.m. It just yells, "Do something," before checking the facts. In ancient times, that overreaction kept you alive. Hear a twig snap in the dark? Don't investigate like a rational scientist, sprint like your DNA depends on it, because it literally did. That's why humans evolved to be afraid of certain things, even if they're statistically harmless now. Snakes, spiders, heights, the deep ocean. The brain doesn't care that your apartment has Wi-Fi and a Ring camera, it's still living in the Pleistocene. This is called prepared fear. Instinctive, inherited anxiety passed down because cautious people survived longer. The jumpy ones lived to have kids. The chill ones got eaten before they could pass on their genes. So your fear of small bugs? That's your cautious great-great-great-grandparent whispering, "Don't touch that shiny venom tube, you idiot." Modern anxiety is just that system misfiring. We're scared of emails instead of predators, but it feels the same. Your heart races, your stomach twists, and you suddenly feel like the Starbucks barista is judging your pronunciation of macchiato. Basically, fear was supposed to save your life, not ruin your presentation. But hey, at least your ancestors would have found your panic attack completely logical. Number 8. The guilt trip that built society. Ever said something dumb, then replayed it in your head 43 times before bed? That's guilt, evolution's way of making sure you didn't get kicked out of the tribe for being a jerk. Guilt is a weird emotion because it hurts, but it's socially useful. Ancient humans lived in tight-knit groups where survival depended on cooperation. If you stole someone's mammoth meat or flirted with their mate, you risked exile, basically a prehistoric death sentence. So your brain evolved an internal punishment system, guilt. When you feel that stomach drop after offending someone, your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone, as if to say, bad human, fix it. This discomfort nudges you to apologize, share, or make amends, behaviors that kept tribes stable and functional. Psychologists call guilt a pro-social emotion, meaning it keeps societies from imploding. Without it, humans would have just been impulsive, selfish chaos gremlins. Like toddlers. Of course, in the modern world, that guilt system gets hijacked. You feel guilty for not answering texts immediately, for saying no, or for eating carbs. Your brain doesn't know the difference between "I forgot to hunt for the tribe" and "I forgot to reply with an emoji." The ancient purpose of guilt was to keep you in the social circle. The modern result? You spend 30 minutes drafting an apology email that starts with "Sorry for the delay," even though the other person didn't notice. In short, guilt built civilization. It made us cooperative, empathetic, and sometimes painfully self-aware, but it also made us terrible at relaxing. Number 7. The jealousy that protected your genes. Ah, jealousy. The emotional equivalent of a toddler holding on to their favorite toy yelling, "Mine!" Except now the toy is a romantic partner, an iPhone, or your coworker's vacation photos. Evolutionary psychologists argued jealousy wasn't just drama, it was a defense mechanism. In early human societies, ensuring your mate stayed loyal wasn't about ego, it was about survival. Genetic survival. If your partner wandered off, your bloodline might have ended faster than a TikTok trend. For men, jealousy evolved to guard against paternity uncertainty, basically making sure the kid you were feeding was actually yours. For women, it helped ensure that their partner's resources and protection weren't suddenly being rerouted to someone else's cave. Romantic, right? That's why jealousy can feel physically painful. It activates the same brain regions as actual pain. Your body treats emotional betrayal like a wound because, in evolutionary terms, it kind of was. Losing your partner or status could literally mean starvation or death. Nowadays, your survival doesn't hinge on your partner's fidelity, but your brain didn't get the memo. It still floods you with cortisol and adrenaline when you see them like someone's post. Rationally, you know it's dumb. Emotionally, your caveman brain is screaming, "We're losing the tribe!" So yes, jealousy is ridiculous and irrational, but also deeply human. It's the ghost of ancient mating strategies haunting your modern relationships. Basically, your DNA is still fighting for attention like it's the Stone Age version of The Bachelor. Number 6. The sadness that saved energy. You know that slump where you don't want to do anything, not eat, not move, not even scroll, just become one with your couch? That's not laziness. That's prehistoric power-saving mode. Sadness, evolutionarily speaking, is your brain's low battery warning. When ancient humans faced loss, failure, or rejection, sadness kicked in to help them stop wasting energy. It made them withdraw, reflect, and conserve calories for when life stopped sucking so hard. Think about it. If your hunting attempt failed and you were out of food, the dumb move would be to run around burning even more energy. The smart move would be to stay still, feel bad, and plan better next time. Congratulations! That's depression's original job description. Modern neuroscience suggests sadness helps us recalibrate. It shuts down unnecessary excitement so your brain can process emotional pain, rethink decisions, and form new strategies. It's like an internal emotional audit, slow, painful, but necessary, Of course, in the 21st century, sadness isn't triggered by starvation or exile. It's triggered by your boss typing, "Can we talk?" or your crush leaving you on red. But the system hasn't changed. Your brain still thinks a rejection means your tribe doesn't love you anymore. That's why sadness physically hurts. It activates the same neural circuits as physical pain, because back in the day, social rejection was dangerous. Alone, dead. So your body made it so painful that you'd do anything to reconnect. So when you're curled up, sad for no reason, your ancestors are whispering, "Conserve energy, rethink your life, and maybe don't get eaten." Basically, sadness is ancient therapy, the kind you didn't ask for, but your DNA insists you need. Number 5. The shame that controlled chaos. Imagine standing in front of people and realizing your fly's down, or you just said something catastrophically dumb. That flush of heat crawling up your neck? That's shame. Nature's built-in don't get exiled system. In small prehistoric tribes, reputation wasn't just about pride, it was survival. If you were seen as unreliable, greedy, or gross, your social network could literally abandon you. And without the tribe, you didn't just lose followers. You lost protection, food, and maybe your life. So evolution gave us shame, a deep burning signal to self-correct. It's like emotional duct tape for social order. You make a mistake, feel awful, and change your behavior to stay accepted. That's why shame feels so physical. Your body reacts as if you've been caught breaking a sacred rule, heart racing, face flushed, muscles tensing. You instinctively make yourself smaller, avoiding eye contact. It's your brain's way of saying, "Don't draw attention, they'll kick us out." Modern society, however, turbocharged this emotion. Now you can feel shame for literally anything: how you look, what you eat, what you wear, what you like, or even what you don't like. It's social survival on overdrive. But under all that modern chaos, the root purpose is ancient. It kept groups functioning. Shame prevented freeloaders, rule breakers, and narcissists from destroying the delicate balance of tribal cooperation. Without it, we'd all just be chaotic gremlins chasing dopamine and setting fires. So yes, shame sucks. But without it, humanity would have never invented etiquette, laws, or pants. Number 4. The curiosity that prevented extinction. You know that random urge to press the red button that says, "Do not press"? Yeah, that's not stupidity. That's evolutionary curiosity. Curiosity evolved because survival required information. The humans who asked, "What's that?" lived longer than the ones who didn't. Sure, sometimes it killed the cat, or, Dave the caveman who poked the glowing mushroom. But on average, curiosity paid off. It made early humans explore new environments, discover edible plants, invent tools, and figure out that fire was hot but useful. The curious ones didn't just survive, they advanced. The brain rewards curiosity by releasing dopamine, the same chemical behind addiction and love. It's nature's way of saying, "Nice, keep learning." That's why falling down a YouTube rabbit hole at 3 a.m. feels suspiciously good. Your brain genuinely thinks you're gathering survival data. Psychologists call this the information gap theory. When there's something you don't know, your brain experiences tension, like an itch that needs scratching. It's the same mechanism that made our ancestors peek into caves, and now makes you binge documentaries about serial killers while eating cereal. Curiosity was once about survival, finding water, safe shelter, or better hunting grounds. Now it's about knowing which celebrity unfollowed who. Evolution's proud, really. But don't underestimate it. Curiosity is still humanity's most powerful instinct. It built language, science, and culture. It's the reason you're not still living in a mud hut, though given rent prices, maybe that's not sounding so bad. Number 3, the love that tricked you into parenting. Ah yes, love, the emotional scam that convinced humans to raise tiny, loud, financially devastating creatures. In the animal kingdom, very few species form long-term emotional bonds. Humans, however, are experts at it. We fall in love, commit, and stay together long enough to raise helpless offspring that take years to function. That's not romance, that's evolutionary teamwork. Love floods your brain with oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin, chemicals that make you feel euphoric, calm, and attached. In ancient times, this chemical cocktail ensured parents wouldn't ditch their screaming baby after 2 nights of bad sleep. It glued families together just long enough for the next generation to survive. But love wasn't just about parenting. Tribal cooperation thrived when humans formed deep social bonds between friends, allies, and even non-blood members. Love made people share resources, protect each other, and, when necessary, fight together. Today, we romanticize it with poetry and pop songs. But love is basically emotional trickery. Your brain bribes you with happiness so you'll invest in other people. Because survival alone, hard. Survival together, possible. That's why heartbreak hurts like a physical wound. Your brain treats social disconnection as an existential threat. Oxytocin drops, dopamine crashes, and suddenly life feels like a bad indie movie. In short, love made civilization possible, but also made you cry over someone who didn't text back. Evolution. 1. You. 0. Number 2. The anxiety that kept you alive. You're lying in bed. It's 2 a.m. You've checked the locks twice, the stove's off, but your brain still whispers, "What if you forgot something?" Welcome to anxiety, the world's least fun ancient alarm system. Back in the wild, anxiety was the reason you didn't die first. It's the hypervigilant little gremlin in your head that used to keep you alert for predators, rival tribes, or that one guy in the bushes who definitely wasn't there to be friends. Your body's stress response evolved for short-term crises. You hear rustling, adrenaline spikes. You prepare to fight, flee, or freeze. That system kept early humans alive. But in today's world, that rustling is just your inbox. When cortisol levels rise, your heart rate increases, your senses sharpen, and your body reroutes blood to your muscles. Perfect if you're running from a bear. Not so perfect when you're running from your feelings. The real problem? We never evolved an off switch. Modern life keeps triggering ancient alarms. Deadlines, traffic, social media, taxes. Your brain can't tell the difference between "I'm about to get eaten" and "I forgot to reply to Karen's email." So you stay on high alert, even while sitting in pajamas. Psychologists call this evolutionary mismatch, when ancient survival instincts collide with modern environments. Anxiety isn't broken, it's just outdated, like trying to run a prehistoric hunting app on an iPhone. So next time your anxiety acts up, remember, it's not weakness. It's 100,000 years of evolution desperately trying to protect you from imaginary lions and very real group chats. Basically, your nervous system is still living in the jungle, and your jungle just happens to have Wi-Fi. Number 1. The joy that made you human. You know that feeling when something tiny makes you unexpectedly happy, like finding fries at the bottom of the bag or your favorite song playing at the exact right moment. That's joy, the weirdest and most underestimated survival emotion ever. Joy isn't just about pleasure. It's an ancient biological signal that says, "You're doing something right. Keep going." In the chaos of prehistoric life, joy rewarded behaviors that improved survival, finding food, bonding with others, exploring safely. It wasn't random happiness. It was reinforcement learning long before psychologists gave it a fancy name. Dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, these chemicals told your ancestors, "Nice job hunting that mammoth," or "Good work sharing with the tribe." It built cooperation, creativity, and persistence. Basically, joy hacked the human brain to repeat useful behaviors. Even laughter, arguably humanity's strangest reflex, evolved as a social glue. It signals safety, When early humans laughed, it told others, "We're okay, no danger here." That shared emotion strengthened trust and lowered tension. That's why you laugh at dumb memes or inside jokes. It's not just fun, it's bonding. Laughter was how tribes synced emotionally. The more they laughed together, the safer they felt, the stronger the group became. And joy is contagious for a reason. It spreads through mirror neurons, brain cells that mimic others' emotions, making entire groups happier and more cohesive. Happiness literally evolved to be shared. Today, joy doesn't necessarily save your life, but it still shapes it. It keeps you curious, kind, creative, and connected. All the things that separate us from, say, raccoons fighting over garbage. So yeah, joy might feel like just another feeling, but it's the one that made us human. The emotion that built music, art, love, and maybe even this video. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.